I'm guessing I should start.
Yeah, hello everyone.
Okay. Hello everyone. Hello everyone watching.
Everyone.
Please bear with us. We'll have a short presentation essentially, and then after the presentation we'll open the floor up for questions. So I guess I'll share my screen. That's okay.
Yes, go ahead.
Okay. Can everybody see?
Hope so.
Oh, can you see right now?
Yeah. For
Oh,
me,
you can
I
see.
can see. Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay, I'm going to click on present and hopefully that works.
Yep.
So that's still visible?
Yeah.
Excellent.
All good.
That's what I like to hear. Oh no, I just closed it. Okay, I'll just keep it like this. Okay, so hello everyone. If you're watching, I think you are interested in applying to KMD. And today we will give a short presentation, like I said earlier. So just, thank you for your time. Okay, so essentially, what we're gonna do is instead of just sort of regurgitating the information that's on the website, we're gonna sort of give you a student's perspective and sort of touch upon things that maybe we wish we knew before we applied and enrolled. So as you can see, this is the agenda for today. Okay, so let's start with the most important question. What is media design? If you find that this is a very nebulous term, it's because it kind of is. Depending on who you ask, either outside of KMD or within KMD, you're probably going to get a wide variety of different answers. So the way we see it is it's basically a broad term that refers to the design of new technology, media, and services to push society forward. Media design research is often highly interdisciplinary. You'll be working with people from a variety of fields. There's lots of people at KMD tend to come from very diverse backgrounds. And the last point is important. Contrary to the name, KMD is not a design school. So there is design at KMD. If you're interested in, say, sort of classical like product design or industrial design or even graphic design, there's definitely room for that at KMD, but KMD isn't really a design institution the same way that, say, a school like Parsons is. Okay, so that's important to keep in mind.
Yes.
Okay, I think this is your slide, Ella.
Yep. Yeah, so we were going to tell you about life at KMD from our perspective. So basically for us, our batch, our first year was like, sadly, because of circumstances, mostly online. So how is online life? Well, it has like its setbacks, but also good points, especially like it was kind of managed well within. Like we had Zoom meetings and connected through programs like Slack, in which we had groups in and we interacted. And we also had used some different programs to interact throughly. Okay, so like how often are we in campus? That question is not as often. And it depends on your, basically on your supervisor or if you, or on your real project, which Ismail will talk about later, and which you probably would have searched by now. And we do have long holidays, especially the summer holiday, but doesn't mean that you kind of don't do anything. Like I'm from a real project called Play, so we usually have progress meetings in between to update, but it depends on, like I've heard from different students. And the professors and supervisors, are they strict or friendly? Well, some of them are more strict than the others. So it really depends, but they're mostly like, they're all friendly so far. Like I've never had a, so yeah, you could like easily approach, especially like, and some are more easily approachable than the other because some are really busy. So So student life. So how did we get to know each other despite it being online, and our group projects and atmosphere? So we basically were put into group projects in the first semester, and that kind of, despite being online, that made us actually know more about the other members, and they're, as Ismail said, interdisciplinary, and like, yeah, we knew about their majors and things through that. So yeah, it's a good experience despite. So you can go ahead, Ismail. Yep. So the structure of KMD activities. So this is like a hack to have a smooth KMD life by us. So the flow of the semester. So far we just had our first and second semester, which is like covers the first year. So in the first semester, we'd advise everyone to actually take it easy, especially on electives. So because it's really heavy, the pipeline foundation classes are a bit rough because they kind of like give you a foundation to what KMD and an introduction to what KMD is like going to focus on throughout. So it's like a rough combination of everything from tech management to everything. And then, yeah, the second semester to the fourth semester is basically MDR1, MDR2, and MDR3, with where you could put your remaining electives. And MDR is basically kind of like a research progress of everything. So that will let you complete, like reach to your graduation. So your electives are, you have 6 compulsory electives, remember that, and remember not to put, like, it's even better not to put anything in the first semester. And your real projects is what Ismail is gonna tell you about. And yeah, you've got optional choices too. Oh, I bet you know about that, which is the ID, SEMS, and Stanford joint program. You could ask about that also like later, any question you have. So go ahead, Ismail, your turn again.
Okay. Thank you for that, Allah. I'm going to be talking about the real projects now. So what are real projects? I actually didn't fully grasp this until after I enrolled, I'm embarrassed to say, but to save you from embarrassment, I'll explain it to you before you apply and enroll, so you don't have to be like me. So a real project is essentially a research lab or research group. And each real project has its own research focus. So KMD real projects cover many areas, including, but not limited to, which is important, human-computer interaction, circular design, education, business, policy, entertainment, and service design. Obviously, not all those things at the same time, but every KMD student has to join a real project. So you're going to essentially be writing when you're writing your thesis, you're sort of writing it within the context of your real project. So what your research will reflect the research goals of your real project, so to speak. I hope that made sense. This is a list of all the real projects at KMD right now. Myself, I'm in one called Geist. I believe Allah is in Play.
Yes.
And Nika is
in Creator.
Okay, there we go. So instead of, I think I'm going to assume that people watching this have gone through the website and read a little bit about each one of these. So I'm not going to explain what each one of these are in a nutshell, but if you want to ask about these later on in the Q&A section, which is coming up right after the slide, feel free to do so. We can speak the best, obviously, about the ones that we are a part of. But we obviously know people in all of these. So we can sort of draw upon what we know and do the best we can to answer your questions. Thank you very much. So yeah, question time.
Yeah, feel free to ask us anything.
So to be able to look at the chat. I'll stop sharing my screen. I think that is easier. Yeah. Okay, fantastic.
Yeah, so supposedly we're gonna.
I see them in the chat.
Yeah.
Cool. We'll give people some time. If people are watching while we seem very tired and out of it, it's because it's 10 p.m. here in Japan. So doing our best to stay awake.
Cute outfit, by the way, Nika.
Thank you. I decided to rep Ukyo Sensei Hello cosplaying. So in the meantime, before we're getting any questions, why did everyone join KMD? What was your motivation? What were you doing before?
Oh yeah, we got a
question.
first question. Yeah.
Are there work study opportunity for low-income students?
Are there work study opportunities for low-income students? That is a good question. I believe there isn't like an explicit work study program at Keio or KMD. At least I haven't heard of any. But go ahead.
Sorry, yeah, like scholarships too would help those low-income students, like together with their work study. But yeah, I'd
say that scholarships are your best bet if you have concerns regarding tuition. There's lots of scholarships available. There's obviously MEXT. I'm sure you've heard about MEXT. There's also a lot of private scholarship opportunities in Japan outside of MEXT. I don't know much about them, but I know they exist. And there should be some Keio specific scholarships as well that you can apply for after you enroll.
Yeah.
But in terms of work study, I don't believe there is a work study program at Keio or KMD. Next question.
Next question is, thanks a lot for the presentation. My question is it mandatory to contact the professors, supervisors that I want to join before the application period? No, it's not mandatory. Actually, like you actually need to after the application period, because you get to also communicate with them through a communication week, and then they give you a certain period to actually choose your real project in which the supervisor is the one guiding it. So yeah, you're given actually like 2 chances before you should like finally choose your. So yeah, you're given a good amount of time to decide and join meetings. So
unless, if you are applying through MEXT or any kind of like international scholarship program, especially MEXT will ask you to give a research plan before you actually get to choose your school. So it's kind of a weird process. So in that case, if you're applying through MEXT, you should contact your supervisor in advance and write like a mock-up research plan. It doesn't have to be your final research plan, of course. You can change it when you are accepted into KMD, but you need to contact them before applying in case you are going through MEXT, if that makes sense. So that was my case.
My case was a little different, but
you were a MEXT student too?
Yeah, and then I didn't have to do that for some reason. Maybe it's because I applied while I was in Japan, so maybe that could be a difference.
Maybe.
Yeah, so I guess it depends on. Interesting though, I just knew. Yeah, so another question. I'd like to join Project Samkara by Professor Matthew Waldman. What is the project mainly about and what is it like?
So this is actually an interesting question. I'm not in Samkara, obviously, but basically, Matthew is the only person at KMD right now regarding the staff who comes from a strictly design background. So he has had, I'm actually not sure, a design company in New York City for quite a long time before coming to Japan. And his project now is I think it's mainly focused on circular design. And I think the last time I saw him, he was wearing a shirt that was made with, I actually don't want to go into too much. It was made of some recycled, but it was also decomposable. It was very sturdy, but decomposable. That's what I remember. It seemed really cool. So if that's the kind of thing you're interested in, apply to Samkara. Yeah. But he's also interested in like speculative design and a whole range of things. So I think, if you apply to KMD, definitely talk to Matthew and go to the information session, because it's quite difficult to actually, sum it up succinctly. But yeah, basically, circular design is the big thing for Samkara right now.
Yeah, anything concerning the environment and the better of it, like bettering the environment, things like that. That's Matthew's passion. All right, so I guess we could discuss some stuff while the other questions are coming up. So yeah, why did you guys choose your real projects? From what backgrounds do you come?
I studied actually Japanese language and literature before coming to KMD, so I was like a huge Japan otaku there, and I wanted to come here because I saw like Ukyo Sensei's cosplays, and I was like, that is unreal. Like I want to study that. I was like, this is insane. This is a real actual graduate school that does research on otaku culture. So that's basically why I came to KMD and to Criado. I see we have another question. So
I'll read it. So can you share an interdisciplinary interactions with fields or fellow students, especially unexpected ones that you've experienced during your time at KMD? Yeah. Yeah, I mean, including us, like, I bet, like, because you've come like from Japanese literature and background, and I come from animation. Well, Ismail also
and linguistics.
Yeah.
But
so like we're
I think,
any experience though particularly?
I think, well, in terms of the real projects, there's a lot of times collaboration between different real projects. And each real project will have their own specialties. So for example, like there's quite a few that are focused in like HCI or human computer interaction very broadly. And a lot of people in those tend to have like engineering or computer science backgrounds. But oftentimes, to make, actually in my real project at Geist, my supervisor specifically, when I went to the information session, said that he wanted people with liberal arts backgrounds or like design or art backgrounds to join, because the way he sort of explained it at the time is that they have all these cool gadgets. Geist is really focused on physiological sensing, so measuring of things like heart rate and galvanic skin response, which I won't try to explain in a live stream, but basically using your physiological signals and making sort of new types of interactions with that. And now that's very cool, obviously, but if you don't know what to do with it, it's kind of a waste, right? So I guess my real project, right, recently in the batch I joined, a lot of people don't have strictly computer science or engineering backgrounds. It's actually a lot of people from liberal arts backgrounds and design backgrounds and art backgrounds and whatnot. So there's a bit of that. Trying to think of a more concrete example, but
like I think more concrete example is, I remember the time where I was with you in a group, when we were like put in the group in the first semester, like we were put in the final, we were put in a group and we all came from different backgrounds, and like for doing the prototype, we all helped each other from our different backgrounds. Like you already know about music, so you helped us, for example, make the music and things like that. And it was like fun, like just seeing you do this stuff. And that I don't know anything about.
I guess the pipeline courses, you'll really sort of get a feel for that interdisciplinary kind of environment. Like Allah said, you're basically put in a group and you have to, we won't give too much away with that, or maybe we should, I don't know.
It's all right. Like the experience is still different. You could just spoil it, but the experience is still.
Right, well, there'll be a lot of group work basically in that. And you obviously don't always have a lot of time to get stuff done. You'll have tight deadlines. It's actually, I think it was probably mentioned, the pipeline course is quite intensive. So in that sort of a setting, obviously you're going to get a feel of what everybody brings to the table. So like Allah said, I was, I guess, the music guy, but then she had a lot of experience with video editing and animation. Then we had somebody with quite a strong engineering background too, which was amazing for what we were doing.
Yeah.
And then I guess, yeah, someone actually from a design background, and then somebody from, I can't remember what Jesse's background was, but she brought a lot to the table. She was probably the most personable out of all of us, so that was nice.
Graphic design?
That's probably it, yeah.
Yeah.
So I hope that answered your question.
Yeah, hopefully.
Sorry if it didn't.
So any other questions? You guys could feel free to. We'll be answering them all. Oh yeah. So you were mentioning about Creato and like being pulled through it, right? Like through it to KMD through Uhiya Sensei. Yeah. Actually, I was also really like I'm still really interested in like Uhiya Sensei's approach. I also went in the beginning to create Creato, so it's
what turned you to play? You're in play, right?
Yeah.
What turned you over to play as a real project?
Actually, I turned like to global education before play, and then finally decided on play. I was just curious about like knowing about each one, but I felt like play is very kind of similar to Creato, except like Creato is like more focused on the anime and yeah, more like technical wise. But yeah, I guess it's just because I'm too much into imagination as an animator, so play just pulled me in. Yeah,
right.
Yeah. But they're both great. Yeah. Oh yeah. What about you, Smart? How about like Geist?
There's a few reasons. I thought the project was quite interesting. I was interested in the idea of physiological sensing and using that for sort of new interactions, as they say, in the HCI world. Also had a strong interest in wanting to learn new skills and sort of learn more programming and yeah, stuff along those lines, I suppose.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Kai Sensei is your man. If it's like for programming, it's either Kai Sensei or mostly. But then Uhiya Sensei also has really good tech info and in general programming.
I feel like most of the professors at KMD have some kind of computer science or engineering background. Yeah, I mean, like Minamizawa or Keiko or the black sheep would be Matthew and Kishi Sensei, maybe. They come from kind of different backgrounds than everybody else. Oh, and Chihiro Sensei. She has like which is kind of interesting background.
I guess Masa Sensei too, actually.
Oh, and Masa, actually.
Okay. Yeah.
That's true. I guess there's lots of people who don't have that background, but like I think like half or some kind of do have this either computer science or engineering background or something.
But despite like our supervisor, not like example, like if we needed tech help, like our sub supervisor also would help. Like we also have a supervisor and sub supervisor. There's that.
True.
Yeah.
True.
For anyone who doesn't know.
And then in your real project, like I guess you'll have people around. So there's other students, but there's other master's students. There's also PhD students and researchers and people like that around. So people are usually, if they're not too busy, like willing to help you with stuff or even take part in your research in some way, shape, or form. So for example, Geist and let's say, embodied media. That's what's called, embodied media. And what's the other one? The network. I forgot the name.
Network media.
Network media. You'll have those real projects encourage you to sort of publish papers at conferences. And in that case, there's a pretty good chance you won't be working all by yourself. It's quite an intensive process, and there's usually at least 3 to 4 students plus your professor or supervisor would be involved in that. So I'm not sure what I was trying to communicate with that, but just to give you an idea of how STEP works.
Yeah, like certain professors focus more on that other than like other professors focus on like, for example, in global education, Keiko Sensei focuses on more on like the workshops you have with the students that she has in global education. That when I joined the meetings there, she focuses on such. It depends. Each supervisor focuses on something else, I guess. I don't see any more questions. If anyone is, if you guys are shy, please ask. we won't bite.
We don't even see who's asking the question, so you really can ask anything you want.
Yeah, everyone is anonymous. Yeah. Oh, the last one who asked about the interdisciplinary question said that it's really helpful. That's good.
To hear.
Yep. You can ask about anything at all, really. Wait, issue is like, I'm not sure how many people are. Oh, okay. There is a question. So from what I read, most projects involve community engagement. What is the process like for an international student to interact with the communities in Japan? Example, in the case of language barriers.
Interesting question. Yeah, I think some real projects do sort of more direct community engagement than others. I think nobody here is in one that does. Am I right? Or maybe Play does a little bit. Or
but Play does, but it's mostly with communities that can communicate in English.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think creative industry is the only one that actually.
I feel like Itoma probably does a bit as well.
Yeah, but don't they like at least have, because like for creative industry, the communities they communicate with are basically the elderly people in living in villages in Japan. So they don't have English ability in general. So yeah. So that's why like Kishi Sensei is like, if you don't know Japanese, just don't enter. But then there are a lot of actually students who enter despite not knowing Japanese into Kishi's because they feel like they're being challenged. Yeah, through what Kishi Sensei says. But yeah, like generally in our projects, did you guys feel that?
Not really. And honestly, like if you plan on enrolling in KMD and like doing a master's or a PhD in Japan, I'd suggest like learning just a little bit like conversational Japanese, because even if you don't have to work with a project that involves community engagement, it's always useful to know a bit, even for the literature you'll need to read for like writing your master's thesis or PhD thesis. or for, making some kind of, gathering data from local communities or whatnot, you could always use Translate, but it's easier. And I would recommend to look into like learning a bit of Japanese. If you come to KMD, there's like a bunch of courses offered at Keio. And yeah, of course, it won't help on like a super academic level, but it's definitely useful for like interacting with communities as you're asking.
Yeah, but in both, yeah.
I was just gonna say, I think in terms
But
of just
like, yeah, like
those are
just the basic foundation. Sorry. Yeah, but like also there are many people who actually have zero info and have joined. So yeah, there's this and that. So yeah, but it's a good recommendation though. Yeah.
Definitely a lot of the real projects have existing relationships with a lot of different organizations, both private and public. So you won't need to think of it as you being like I don't know, I used to work as a recruiter where I actually did have to like approach companies and in Japanese or English. And yeah, it's nothing like that. It's not like super weird business kind of exchange. You are in an academic institution and they have a very good network. So I would just, I wouldn't worry too much about it. Although as has been said, 5 seconds ago, it is highly recommended to study Japanese. I think it makes your life a lot easier at KMD and in Japan in general. But if you're interested in joining the creative industries real project, I recommend a high level of Japanese.
Yeah. So. There is actually 2 questions. So yeah, one that says, what do I need to study before entering KMD?
Nothing really. You just need a bachelor's degree and you're eligible to enroll.
Yeah.
You don't really need any sort of concrete skill. But I think it depends on what you're interested in. If you're interested in, say, doing something really technical, maybe pick up a little bit of technical expertise before you join, study a Python or C++ or something. Only if that's what you're interested in, but you don't need anything. You can just come in as a blank slate and figure it out. And you can obviously learn stuff while you're here. I'm learning a bunch of stuff that's way over my head right now while I'm enrolled. So you don't need to worry about doing anything before you come enrolling or apply to KMD.
Yeah, like with the different backgrounds too, like as we said. So you don't really actually need it to be like good in design or good in because I've seen like students from a law degree to linguistics to everything, actually a mix. Is it okay if I don't have a clear idea of my research theme at the time of admission? Oh, that's perfectly okay. Like, I've changed mine. And who are you guys?
Yeah, I've changed mine too since the first time I applied through MEX. That was a good almost 2 years ago now. Like I've changed it like completely 180 since then. Like I've changed the things I work in. I changed my interest, so it's perfectly okay to not have an idea like at the time of admission, especially.
Yeah, so you don't have to worry about that. Another question, if I choose the real project, will I be participating in the same project for 2 years?
So in the first semester, you get to participate in an introductory project, which is, you choose that one as well. But after the introductory project, you can like change your project because you only choose your real project in the second semester. And that one you will be keeping for the last 3. So like for the second, third, and fourth semester, you will be in the same real project and expected to be in the same real project, technically. But before you join that one real project, you can just hop in between, like try different things, see what works best for you.
Yeah, you actually explained it perfectly. Yeah. Despite language barriers, do you think the time difference between Japanese and English program will affect the job seeking process in Japan? I heard the time of the English program is 5 months later.
I see. So I guess the semester for the English program starts in September, and Japanese starts in May or April.
So like for job hunting. I don't think so.
I mean,
like maybe that job hunting is more like if you're undergraduate. I'm not sure. I'm not sure, but I think like you can apply for a job anytime.
No, but there's like that season around like spring where you can like job hunting season in Japan. Maybe.
Yeah, but doesn't that like depend on your major, kind of? Like, as in like if you're like, I have no idea though. Me neither. What about you?
As somebody who's worked a few jobs in Japan before, I've been hired at all different stages. I mean, actually, I feel like most of my jobs I got hired like around October or something. So I think if you're doing like a mid-career hire, or actually I don't know if it would even be mid-career, but basically, yeah, it's a revolving door, just like anywhere else in the world. I think it's mostly for undergraduate students who are joining like a huge, massive company. That's usually like in April, and then but that's like a whole, I don't know if that's for the person asking this question, I don't know if that's what you have in mind, but just jobs in general, I think you'll probably find something if you apply later on in the year. I hope that made sense. I'm trying to calm you down. I think it's fun. I'm on your side. I'm on your team here. I think it'll be. I don't think it'll be a problem.
Same here. Like, I've seen like people get jobs in like after graduating from the September batch. So I think you would be okay too.
That's a good question, though.
Yeah, it is.
It's good to be mindful of this sort of thing.
Again, another question. So what is the ratio of participants in online classes to offline classes? Actually, we don't actually, like, for us in our first year, the first semester and the second semester were mostly like there were no actual offline classes, right? Like it was all online. So yeah, we basically had it all online. Sad to say, but yeah, we had it all online rather than offline. But we managed to meet though offline to like maybe twice or a few times, just like within the project, to actually prototype and things like that. Yeah, we managed to meet in groups. So, and like, but like it wasn't as a big, like 3 of us out of like 5 maybe managed to meet up and things like that. So yeah, it was a bit like of an up and down. What about you guys?
I am actually in the Japanese program that started this April, and we had the opportunity to join 2 or 3 workshops during the innovation pipeline in the first semester at school. And during those, like, I feel like as many people that were around Tokyo would make the most they could, so they could come to school and meet everyone and be actually like there in offline mode. But we had some students, like maybe 30% that weren't from the Tokyo area, that those had no choice but to join online. So I would say when we had the opportunity to go and meet offline, like 70% would go for it, and the other 30 wouldn't go for it just because of like distance. So because there were so few opportunities, everyone was just like super hype about coming to school. But right after we just started the semester, the emergency state was imposed again, so we had to go all online too. So yeah, it was mostly online for us too.
Yeah, it makes sense. Yeah, we only had like maybe also like we had within our real project kind of like one meeting actually that we had like a workshop and like that's offline. So yeah, it also depends on your real project too, and as well as the situation, because as she said, emergency, and yeah, in the emergency state we have to only online, sadly.
Yeah.
But despite that, despite that, there is a good thing that we are allowed to go to campus to like prototype and things like that.
Sure.
If we wanted to go, we're allowed to go to the campus and work there, which is a good thing. It wasn't possible in the first semester, and it got like only at the end of the first semester and then till now. And yeah, which is a good thing. Oh yeah, Ismail, go ahead. Sorry, I cut you off.
I was going to say a similar. I was pretty much going to say the exact same thing. I mean, I've gone quite a bit for my real project for research purposes. So if you want, you can do that. In some cases, you probably, depending on what you're doing, you might have to like come to campus. But in terms of classes, yeah, everything's online, at least for the English batch. And it seems, I think this semester, it seems like everything will be online as well. Who knows what the future will hold in store for us. I think people who are watching this live stream would probably apply in January, I'm guessing. And then, so I think probably by the time you would be enrolled, the situation might be completely different in Japan in terms of the coronavirus. So who knows? Our fingers crossed. The vaccination rate is pretty high in Japan now. So
yeah, like at least much better than now, hopefully. Yeah. So anyone who still has any more questions, you could go ahead, because we still have time till 11 p.m. GST. So JST. So go ahead. Dozo. Oh, okay. A question came up. So if I want to study in the business concentration, will it still be very design oriented? I'm also very keen on the field of marketing and branding. Thank you. So like,
go
ahead. Sorry.
I said my gut is telling me that you could maybe get away with not doing anything design oriented as far as your real project is concerned. But I've seen some people, at least in terms of just the real project, I mean, you'll still have to, with pipeline, be exposed to design theory and whatnot. But I did see in our plenary meeting some things from the business side, from I guess it was the creative industry, that were definitely not very design oriented. At least it didn't seem that way to me.
Global education too, actually. Yeah.
Oh yeah, true. Well, it's design, and like I guess the term design, especially at KMD, is used quite broadly. But I mean, I'm trying to think of how to articulate this. Not like from what you think of sort of classically as design, like, I don't know, industrial design, product design, even, I don't know, that sort of stuff. I think you can get away with doing something that's a bit more business focused, and yeah, I don't know, hope that makes sense.
Yeah, and now like there's another supervisor also that's with a business background, that's Dinya Chen, was she?
Dinya Chen, yeah.
Yeah.
think
So yeah, she's a business background. Yeah. So
and she's actually like she has a course on like marketing.
Yeah.
Okay.
She has a course on marketing.
Mm.
Yeah. So I guess like the business sector will get like
Mm.
probably much bigger by
Mm.
the time you come. But yeah, the creative industries, as Ismail said, very focused on business without having to have a like depends on your research idea basically.
Yeah, I think Matthew's quite into branding too, from what I remember from the pipeline course. So there's a bit of that too. And actually the sort of Itama stuff is all like service design related. So it's not, you know, I think there's kind of a bit more of an entrepreneurial spirit or maybe like room for that if that's what you so please. So I think you'll be okay. I think you'll find your people.
Yeah, another question. Would you love to hear more of your would love to hear more of your experience?
There was another one before that.
Oh, there is?
Yeah, sorry.
Oh, sorry.
Very rude of me to cut off.
No, it's all right. Yeah, I'm sorry for skipping that question. Currently, I'm more of an art-oriented student than a technology-oriented student. Is there any high-level computer skills needed to apply for the KMD?
No,
not at all.
Not at all.
Yeah, like I think the three of us like don't have any technology or background. I'm animation, he's linguistics, and she's Japanese literature. So yeah, we don't have any. So,
but you will be exposed to some programming in the first semester for sure. So be ready for that.
Yeah, and it depends on you. Like if you liked it, you could continue
level it up,
pushing yourself. Yeah. What if you don't, just drop it?
There's definitely room. Oh, sorry.
Sorry,
cutting people off. I said there's definitely room to teach yourself that kind of stuff if it's relevant to your research, which is what I'm doing right now. So don't fret. You'll be okay. Whatever path you choose.
Ganbatte. Yeah. So like another question. Would love to hear more of your experiences. Could you share what projects you are working on and have worked on? Like, do they mean like the real projects or what we've done like within work we've done within
the coursework?
Yeah, I'm not.
I'm willing to talk about either, but I guess is it possible for this person to clarify their question? It's fine. Okay, we're not mad, just so we know. If we start talking about for 5 minutes about one thing or another thing,
yes,
coursework or real project.
Yeah. Like
Maybe typing up the response. Well, maybe you can talk about real projects. Maybe that's kind of interesting for people to hear. Do you guys want to talk about your experiences in terms of real projects?
Oh yeah, maybe we could like speak about our supervisor's approach and how we're doing right now through our project. So, you guys. Okay, no, that's another thing. The other question is another thing. Continue, guys.
I still want to wait on the person who asked that question to clarify whether they meant coursework or real project. But did we have a new question? So hello, I have a question. A project about service design can be developed by a research student in KMD. Thank you so much for the space. Yeah, I think so. I mean, I think that's what Itama is all about, is service design. So if that's what you're interested in, then yeah, definitely you can do that.
Yeah, and like they have sub projects within that would help also guide you. Like if you're, if you're like unsure, or if you have like a direction and you want to be directed more, they have sub projects within a lot within. So the service design, Itoma. So keep that in mind, Itoma. All right. For the other one, maybe we could like talk about our real projects for the first question, since no one clarified the previous question. You guys could like just overall speak about what you're doing in your real projects.
Yeah, I'll start.
Go ahead.
Actually, an interesting thing in my real project is that although I'm working on my own research, which is related to actually audio and physiological sensing, I've actually participated in other people's research as well. I'll finish my thought and then I'll read whatever is written there.
Yeah.
I've also sorry, I forgot what I was saying because some text flash on the screen, but I've actually participated in other people's research as well and helped them a lot with setting up studies and running studies. I think one of them was related to reading and like measuring people's physiological reactions to reading. And another one was I think this person wanted to, actually, I'm talking about like, I don't really know this person very well, but I actually do know them very well. She wants to basically put like sensing technology inside of like an umbrella handle. And so I helped her a bit with some of the, at least writing the paper and sort of setting up the study a bit. So that was fun, even because that has nothing to do with, me and what I'm researching, but it was cool that I got to, help out and learn all sorts of fun stuff along the way. Okay, now I'll read what's written here. Oh, I forgot. How about the finishing?
Yeah.
Okay, that's a message to us.
Yeah, for me in play, I'm kind of like working on like how to make everything. Like I won't actually like tell you the details about it, but it's more like how to make everyday things more lively, more emotional kind of thing approach. So yeah, the approach of my professor in my real projects is more about like letting my imagination free and not thinking about the technical aspect. So it's kind of the opposite like of the technical side professors. So it's more like thinking of something that you would imagine in the future through storytelling, and then kind of adapt, like making your way through your project to how you imagine the future. So it's kind of like that. So whatever you imagine in the future would become your main project or you want to achieve that. So that's Play's approach. And I've become close to particularly everyone, mostly because we're just currently 11 students. The question was your own research is what's written here. So I guess we're on the right track for answering. Yeah, so it's mostly, my own research is mostly about how everyday things will be in the future. That's my focus through my imagination. So yeah. So what about you, Nika?
So in Creato is all about the internet, networking, and promoting of contents and creation of contents. And since Ukyo Sensei is very much about otaku culture and into anime, manga, cosplay, gaming, etc., there are a lot of people within the real project creating their own games. So if you're interested in gaming, this is the project for you. I am personally, my own research deals with, I am actually more of an otaku about Japanese Harajuku fashion. So I have an online store that sells Harajuku fashion to the West. And like, I'm interested in new alternative ways to promote that through the online medium, through the internet, like not through a standard normal online store and social media, because that's already like what we have now, but like what new innovative technologies we could incorporate into that in order to, keep selling and keep promoting this Japanese culture to the West is my research. So,
Yep.
Yeah, kind of like
interesting though. So I hope we answered your question. For the person who asked. I think we have about 5 more minutes to receive anything, if there is. So if anyone wants to ask, now is the time.
Last question.
Yes. Drum roll. Last questions.
No last question? No.
Yeah, seems not. But the questions are great though, the ones asked to us. Seems everyone has done the research.
I'd say the questions were often better than the answers that these people were given. I'm just kidding.
No, don't put shade on us. I thought we were friends.
I'm just playing. Okay, great questions.
Yeah.
Covered a lot of bases tonight. Thank you for doing this.
Oh,
Thank you for
yeah.
thank you for doing this. That's all I want to say.
Yeah, thank you for participating and like not letting us talk to ourselves. Yeah.
It was a lot of fun though. We appreciate everyone's questions and comments and whatnot.
Yeah. Right. So everyone, thank you very much. That's it. That's about it for our session. Thank you for participating. And we wish that we helped whoever asked the questions. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, and we wish you luck when you apply to KMD.
Ganbatte.
Ganbatte.
Bye and good luck. I
Bye.
don't have anything else to really say. I'll just regurgitate what everyone else said. Okay, I think that's it for us though. So
yeah.
thanks
Bye
again.
bye.